Here's what's making news at midday. Wisconsin's Attorney General files a new lawsuit against more than a dozen companies over their alleged role in contaminating water across the state with PFAS chemicals. Plus, the National Archives is now investigating the Secret Service after the agency deleted text messages the committee investigating the January 6th insurrection asked for. Everybody, good to have you with us at midweek. Mark is on vacation this week. New this noon, Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul has filed a lawsuit against 18 companies that he says contaminated the environment with PFAS chemicals. Those companies include 3M, Tyco Fire Products, and BASF Corporation. The lawsuit alleges the companies knew or should have known that their products would have a dangerous impact on the public's health and environment. It is seeking punitive damages and reimbursement for the costs of investigations, cleanup, and remediation.
We will not look the other way when the health of Wisconsinites is in danger. We are going to take action, and we are going to hold accountable the companies that are responsible for this mess.
News 3 Now reached out to 3M, Tyco, and BASF for comment, but we have not heard back. Let's get a check on the weather now. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast. Still sticky out there, Julian.
Yeah, it's still sticky, but if we had to rate our scale of how great today is so far as we get into the lunchtime hour, well, I give it about a 7 out of 10. It's a little muggy, but we are still dealing with some nice weather for us in comparison of what it's felt like all week long. Now, we are dealing with a little bit of cloud cover that's still broken up into our skies, but as we continue throughout the course of this morning going in, or our afternoon, as we go towards the evening, we are looking for that to start to clear up just a bit, as we are looking for more dry air mass start to move in later on today. As of right now, current conditions here in Madison, 79 degrees, and folks, it is breezy as well. Dew points are at 64 degrees, so we are definitely noticing the humidity, but it's just not nearly as bad as it has been over the past couple of days. 79 degrees in Madison, as being mentioned, 81 in Janesville, 78 in Platteville. So a nice mild start to our lunchtime hour, but dew points are also a lot more improved across the board. However, for Platteville, we're still dealing with those tropical-like weather, as it's 72 degrees for us in regards to our dew points. Some showers had developed near the Dells, but outside of that, it's rather dry, and we're going to see even more dry conditions as we go into the later part of today, as we are going to see open skies, and by the time we get to Constitution Square, Susan, it's going to shape up to be quite nice for us.
7 out of 10 is pretty good.
Hey, I'm going to take that as well.
All right. Thank you, Julian. We'll check back in just a little bit. A 59-year-old man is dead this noon after he was ejected from his truck during a crash in Dodge County. Officials say the man lost control of the truck on a curve on County Highway G in Westford. It happened around 12:45 this morning. The truck spun over and eventually left the road. Dodge County Sheriff's officials say a deputy found the driver outside of the truck. He was taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Janesville Police Department is mourning the loss of a canine named Fred. Police say Fred passed away peacefully last night, surrounded by officers. Fred served with the department since November of 2015. Assisting with many apprehensions, drug busts, and drug seizures. Over the last few years, Fred suffered from melanoma cancer. He will be honored with a procession at 11:30 tomorrow in front of the Janesville Police Department. The January 6th committee will hold another primetime hearing tomorrow night, but some of the evidence that the committee was hoping to have ahead of the hearing has gone missing. Skylar Henry has the details.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol says the Secret Service missed a deadline to turn over text messages sent within the agency on January 5th and 6th.
They did not turn over the text that we were looking for.
The agency says the texts are potentially deleted and irretrievable. The National Archives, which is in charge of securing government documents, has ordered a review of what it calls unauthorized deletion. The Secret Service is promising its full cooperation with the review.
I would be shocked and horrified if anyone in a position of leadership oversaw the destruction of evidence related to the January 6th insurrection.
The January 6th committee had wanted the text messages ahead of Thursday's primetime hearing, where the focus will be on what President Trump was doing while his supporters attacked the Capitol.
Focusing on those critical 187 minutes between when the attack on the Capitol started and when Donald Trump finally issued a video statement asking people to leave the Capitol. That's so important to know what Donald Trump was doing and why he didn't ask people to leave sooner.
Former Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger and Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews are expected to testify live at tomorrow night's hearing. They were both in the White House during the attack and can help explain what the president was doing. Both resigned immediately after January 6th. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Committee Chairman Benny Thompson will not be leading the committee in person tomorrow after he tested positive for COVID. Speaking of, COVID infections are on the rise in at least 40 states, including Wisconsin. The highly transmissible BA.5 variant is dominating the surge. The World Health Organization says COVID cases have tripled across Europe in the last 6 weeks. The director of WHO in Europe calls COVID-19 a, quote, nasty and potentially deadly illness, and he says people should not underestimate it.
It's spreading, it is mutating, and unfortunately, it's still taking a lot of lives.
The WHO says super infectious subvariants of the Omicron strain are driving new waves of the virus, and that repeat infections could potentially lead to long COVID. A company that provides guarantees for student loans wants to help people who are eligible for a national loan forgiveness program learn how to apply. Ascendium is teaming up with local nonprofits in Dane County to educate those who may be eligible. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program recently expanded its eligibility criteria, and now frontline, essential, and nonprofit workers can apply. The program is for those who work at nonprofits or in government jobs. After 10 years of working, if those workers still have student loans, they will be forgiven.
During the waiver period so far, we've seen an average forgiveness of $65,000. So that's a life changer for many.
Student loan waivers that have been in place since the start of the pandemic end at the end of October. Well, stay with us. There's more to come today on News 3 Now at noon. A nationwide freeze-dried blueberry recall. We'll have details after the break.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Have you ever experienced this view? Hi, Andrew Larson here. With Gutter Shutter, you'll never have to experience it again. Please give up this dangerous chore and protect your home's foundation with Gutter Shutter, the strongest, most durable, maintenance-free gutter on the market. Over the past 15 years, my team has installed thousands of maintenance-free gutter systems across South Central Wisconsin. We'd love to come out and show you what Gutter Shutter can do for you and your home, but most importantly, keep you safe and off that ladder. So call today for a free estimate.
Soak in the savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. Don't miss the perfect opportunity to fill your home with the world's most comfortable seating for less. It's time for Stressless, proud to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Do you suffer with pain, numbness, and tingling in the hands or feet? Commonly diagnosed as peripheral neuropathy? Are you taking drugs such as Lyrica or gabapentin that have serious side effects and often do not relieve your symptoms? Your doctor has told you you may just have to live with the pain. Peripheral neuropathy is a result of damage to the nerves, often causing burning, weakness, pain, numbness, tingling, and the most debilitating balance problems. Our facility uses multiple therapeutic methods to help give you relief from neuropathy symptoms with no injections and no drugs. You may start seeing relief after only a few sessions. To determine if your neuropathy symptoms can be relieved, we will do a consultation to evaluate the extent of your condition. Call us today to schedule your neuropathy consultation to find out if you're a candidate for our therapy. Call today.
economic plan is moving this country in a better direction.
What planet is he living on? Record gas prices, 40-year high inflation, costing Wisconsin families over $8,000 a year. Sorry, Joe, that's the wrong direction. Here on planet Earth, Senator Johnson voted against Biden's massive deficit spending that sparked inflation, and he passed tax cuts to help Wisconsin families survive the economic turmoil caused by Democrats.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
When we needed new doors and windows for our home, we were looking for someone we could trust.
We've done the bargain brand windows.
What we loved about Nextdoor and Window is that they were different.
We really loved their educational approach.
Call 844-600-NEXT. 50% off your installation.
Of Netflix climbed after the video streaming giant released its second quarter earnings yesterday. The company says it lost around 970,000 paying subscribers between April and June. That was relatively good news since it's less than half of what the company had predicted earlier in the year. Netflix remains the market leader with more than 220 million subscribers. Chipotle is closing an Augusta, Maine restaurant at the center of a unionization effort. Last month, employees at the location asked the National Labor Relations Board for permission to hold an election. It was the first petition of its kind filed by Chipotle workers. Union organizers accused the chain of union busting. Chipotle says it's closing the restaurant in part because of what it calls excessive employee absences. And Toys R Us is making yet another comeback. The retailer closed all of its stores after filing for bankruptcy in 2017. Now Toys R Us shops are being built inside every Macy's store in the U.S. The company says they'll range in size from 1,000 to up to 10,000 square feet. That is your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Matt Piper.
Let's see how stocks are faring at the noon hour. The Dow is off almost 57 points. The Nasdaq is up 135 and the S&P 500 is up 13. There is a nationwide blueberry recall to look out for. Natera is recalling its organic freeze-dried blueberries because they could contain too much lead. The 1.2-ounce pouches could have been purchased in stores or online. The recalled pouches are labeled with a best used by date of December 2024 and January 2025. Natera is offering refunds for the recalled products. Daily Harvest has zeroed in on the ingredient that may have caused a mysterious illness in hundreds of its customers. They say it was tara flour, a flour made from the seeds of South American tara trees. The announcement comes just weeks after Daily Harvest issued a voluntary recall of its French lentil and leek crumbles. Daily Harvest said this is the first and only time they have used tara flour, and they are continuing to work with the FDA to determine what exactly made people sick. Daily Harvest also says they are no longer using ingredients from that specific producer. Well, Pam Yankee has your latest ag numbers next at noon, plus the importance of staying hydrated during this heat and how long will the sticky temperatures in our area last. Julian has the answer. Boy, that's where you want to be today at the UW Memorial Union Terrace. He has the forecast coming up next.
Son, it's about time we had the talk. It's time you knew the truth. Windows can take a beating, especially here in the Midwest. When it's time to replace them, call Feldco.
Isn't Feldco offering 2-for-1 windows right now, Dad?
They are, son. They are.
Less talk, more action. 2-for-1 windows from Feldco makes home improvement easy and affordable.
2-for-1 windows ends soon. Call now.
Quality windows, siding, and doors. Call 866 for Feldco.
I'm Tim Michaels. Commanding the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier was an honor beyond measure. America is a miracle of countless sacrifices from unknown patriots. Honoring that is our duty. But today, America is under attack by radicals trying to tear down everything that makes America great. This is a fight we cannot lose. I'm Tim Michaels. I'm running for governor to help save the America that those before saved for us.
At McGann Furniture and Flooring in Baraboo, we know that hardworking people want the most value for their money. At McGann's, we've already sorted out and selected the brands that we feel offer you the most bang for your buck. From young couples to senior citizens, we offer a huge selection at prices that will fit your budget. And remember, at McGann's, we don't raise prices only to lower them later for a sale. Discover the difference at McGann Furniture and Flooring, downtown Baraboo.
It's Wow Wednesdays at Hy-Vee. This Wednesday, Nathan's Beef Franks, only $2.99. Sweet corn, 12 for only $5. Folgers coffee, only $6.99. And Gatorade 8-packs, only $3.99. Wednesday only. And save even more during Red, White, and Fuel. Right now, save up to $7.21 per gallon with your Hy-Vee Fuel Saver Plus Perks card. And visit HyVeeDeals.com for even more deals.
Tomorrow, the Dane County Fair is back, and we've got a live look at some family-friendly fun.
Then answer our question of the day for a chance to win these Restaurant Week bucks.
And rain chances return to our forecast. We'll be timing out when you may be impacted tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
This local burger shack's as small as they come, but its fan base is huge.
They're from all 50 states and all over the world.
What's the secret to their sizzle? Mark Kane takes a bite to find out. Thursday on News 3 Now at 6. The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Let's check in now with Farm Director Pam Yankee. Hi, Pam. We're thinking about all the kids getting ready for the fair tomorrow. It's hot in the barn.
I was thinking about you and I running around a couple years ago where we were chasing the kids instead of being able to be at the fairs. Yeah, the weather doesn't change. Our scenario may, but the weather for the fair certainly does not. So I'll be looking forward to seeing folks at the Dane County Fair. Saturday is my day for the Farm Babe Boogie Tractor Parade. In case you haven't seen our parade in conjunction with the Dane County Fair, here's what it looks like. We invite anybody that's got a tractor. Doesn't matter the color, the size, the shape. We are just happy to have you come along and join us. We'll have you unload the tractor behind the Alliant Energy Center in that back parking lot. We'll start parading at about 11 a.m. I will buy you lunch, courtesy of the Dane County Pork Producers and Stoughton FFA alumni, and then we'll stamp you so you can enjoy the fair, or you're welcome to load up and take off probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, I'll be sharing with you some of the pictures of the kids that just show up in throngs to enjoy these tractors. That's why we do it, folks. We don't charge anything, but I did find out that we are going to be giving folks a commemorative gift this year if you come out with your tractor. 20 years we've been doing the Farm Babe Boogie Tractor Parade. I can't believe it. So we've got a commemorative gift that we're going to give everybody that shows up with a tractor. So please, think about joining us Saturday. I don't care what color the tractor is or how big. Just come on out and enjoy and be a part of the activities. I think you'll find the rewards pretty great. All right, so markets are down again today in Chicago, but the wheat is hanging on. That's the good news for folks that are starting to combine that. I got a report from the field, 11% moisture on some wheat by Reeseville. Barrel cheese today up 4 at $2.05. 40-pound block cheese unchanged. AA butter drops 2.5 cents today, down to $2.91.5 per pound. So there we go. The pictures, they refresh our memory. It's been a year since we got that tractor boogie going. 20 years. I can't even believe it's been 20 years.
Congratulations. Oh, it's so good to have it back. All right, Pam, thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow. And let's head over to Julian now with a check on the forecast.
And we're going to be seeing some cloud cover stick around throughout much of our afternoon. But the good news is, by the time we get into the later part of this evening, we'll start to see a bit more of that open sky as we roll in throughout. So looking ahead, this is what we're seeing as of right now. It's 79 degrees, so it's not too bad, especially thanks to the northwesterly breeze, which is definitely breezy for us as we're into those middle teens in miles per hour. And that's going to be sustained throughout much of today. So it will be a windy day for us. And as we get into the evening, we're going to see those lower 80s start to roll in. So it's not going to be too bad, especially since dew points in themselves are starting to cooperate just a bit. It's not nearly as humid as it has been over the last couple of days for us here in southern Wisconsin. We're at 64 degrees here in Madison. We've been dealing with the upper 60s around this time of day over the last couple of days. So that just kind of paints a picture of the improvements that we have seen, even though it is just on the minimal side. 64-degree dew points into Janesville and 71-degree dew points in for Platteville, which is a bit more sticky near the Florida type of conditions for us there. But as we take a look at our radar, We're starting to see just a couple of showers just outside of the Dells, but overall we're staying rather dry, and we're not going to be anticipating to see really any showers at all for today now that the cold front has swept its way through, which also was the reason we lost some of that moisture into our the upper Midwest. It's because we're now looking at a drier air masses rolling in, but because of that, we're still going to see a couple of humid and sticky conditions to stick around throughout the course of the day and throughout the rest of the week. But by the time we get into our evening hours, the cloud cover is still going to be really spotty at best, as the breezy conditions will stick around for us. Temperatures will be near the middle 80s for us, and as we go into tonight, those who are heading to the concerts on the square, well, it's going to be a rather nice night for us. It's not going to be overly humid, but it will still feel a little humid, and it will just feel warm enough like it does typically around this time of year for summer. Going into our Thursday morning commutes, we're looking at more open sky, a couple of showers could pop up near the northeasterly side of southern Wisconsin, but outside of that, from not Juneau or Watertown, it's only areas that we're looking at to see really some showers starting to develop. But other than that, we're staying dry again throughout our Thursday and going into our Thursday nights. So our concerts on the square, here's a look at what we're going to be seeing for us. So it'll be mostly sunny by the time things really start to kick off, especially in the middle of the event. It will still be a bit humid, and it will still be very warm for some of us as well. But what we're also going to be watching for will be Friday, as we have a chance or a marginal risk for us to see some storms that could be strong or even severe for us here in central and southern Wisconsin, starting off mainly for Friday nights into our Saturday evening and Saturday night is where we're going to be really keying in on for us to see some storms start to roll in for us. So again, most of our Friday is going to be fine. Most of our Saturday is going to be fine as well, but our nighttime hours are where we're going to be looking at our best chance to see some stormy-like conditions. Then we're going to be back to more seasonable temperatures. 80s will be into the lower side as we go into next week, but it will still remain humid, which is why we're also still looking at chances of seeing showers or storms. But overall, Susan, we are looking for improvements heading into next week.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you, Julian.
Yeah, of course.
As the heat wave continues, though, staying hydrated is critical, but how much water our bodies need depends on some important factors. Michael George explains.
The streets are steamy on Jane Long's visit to New York City, so she's trying to stay cool. Do you always bring water when you go out in the heat?
I try to.
As we sweat in the heat, the body loses water, which regulates body temperature, so staying hydrated is critical. Staying hydrated?
Yes, we are drinking plenty, yeah.
Current guidelines say men need about 15 cups of fluid a day and women about 11. But registered dietitian Catherine Patton says it's not the same for everyone, and it helps to discuss some important factors with a healthcare provider.
It really does vary, according to, your size, gender, and especially just kind of how active you are, what medications you might be on, what kind of climate you live in.
Doctors say dehydration can sneak up on you and cause cramps, headaches, dizziness, and fatigue. If it's severe, it can mean a trip to the emergency room. Coffee, tea, and flavored waters do count towards your total fluid intake. And fruit and vegetables can also help with hydration. But be careful with alcohol, which has the opposite effect. And Patton says older people need to pay extra attention to their fluid intake.
As we age, we actually do, lose our sense of thirst a little bit. So it's important for, the older adults to definitely be more mindful of how much they're drinking because they don't sense that.
Patton recommends starting the day with a cup and just keep filling your tank, especially during these dog days of summer. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
There's more to come today on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, Howard suggests picking up some mangoes for the dish he's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You can have a tropical tasting dinner as soon as tonight. Stick around and I'll show you how to do it.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Is the insurance company playing games with your future?
The initial offer from the insurance company was $100. Hupy and Abraham were able to get me much more than I expected. It was a huge settlement.
Tell the insurance company you mean business.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate summer with our hot summer sale. We're talking about sizzling savings of 22%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 2 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board for our hot summer sale. Save 22% off gutters with any full roofing or siding project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
Get up and go! You heard the Jingle Man, Wisconsin. That means it's time to get a versatile, rugged, athletic SUV that makes you feel like you just won a title. Again. Honda was just crowned KBB.com's best value brand for the 7th year in a row. So get up and go to your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin. Bring it home, Songbird.
Get up and go! Outlaw. That's what can happen because of the Supreme Court, and Ron Johnson's with them. The Supreme Court's decision ended abortion services in Wisconsin, and Ron Johnson supported the decision, making it illegal in Wisconsin, even in cases of rape and incest. Doctors can be prosecuted, a woman's right to choose criminalized. Johnson even said, if you don't like it, you can move. Ron Johnson's not for us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Now is the time to turn your dream into a reality with Design and Buy at Menards. Breeze through your project planning with ease using interactive tools that factor in the details that matter. Whether you're dreaming of a beautifully landscaped patio for entertaining, a deck to grill up the perfect hot dog, or a fence to add style and privacy, what are you waiting for? Turn your dream into reality with Design and Buy at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Careless drivers cause serious injuries.
The car ran a red light, hit my vehicle hard. I'm glad I called Hupie and Abraham. I was very happy with the results.
Tell the insurance company you mean business.
A good lawyer shouldn't cost you more. They should get you more.
When you're at the market picking up your produce, do you tend to buy the same few things week after week? If you do, how about shaking things up by adding mangoes to your shopping list? Right now, they're at their peak, which means they're as sweet as can be, so there's no better time to take advantage of them. Sure, we can simply cut them up for a healthy snack or add them to our smoothie, but we've got a great new idea that pairs this sweet tropical favorite with chicken. Sounds good? Then watch how easy. The first thing we do is cut the juicy pulp off a ripe mango. Then we place this in a blender along with some vegetable oil, fresh garlic, brown sugar, a hint of ground red pepper, some salt, and a splash of lime juice. After we give it a whirl, we pour it over some boneless, skinless chicken thighs, give them a toss, and into the fridge they go to marinate. And come dinner time, we can cook these inside in a skillet or on a grill pan or outside on the grill. After the chicken is cooked through and the outside starts to caramelize, they're ready to serve. How about serving them over a bed of rice for a tropical tasting dish that's far from ordinary? To get the recipe for our mango lime chicken, all you need to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a mango-nificent way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Thank you, Howard. Final check of the weather with Julian.
And we're going to have today be mainly on the things are going to be rather warm for the next few days for us. Humidity will stick around as well, but as we head towards the weekend, we'll finally start to see some relief heading into our Sunday, thanks to a cold front and some shower and storm conditions that are going to be giving us a healthy amount of water that we've been looking for. And as we go into next week, Susan, we are looking for temperatures to be maintained into those lower 80s, which is definitely nice for us, even though it's going to be humid. Thank you all for joining us.
That's for sure. Thank you, Julian. Have a great afternoon.